Imagine you get a raise tomorrow. Your salary jumps from $60,000 to $100,000. Sounds amazing, right? More money, more freedom, a better life. But here's the strange part. What if I told you that 5 years from now, you could be earning twice as much and still feel just as broke? Maybe even more broke. It sounds impossible. But it happens all the time, and the reason has almost nothing to do with how much money you make. It has to do with what happens to your lifestyle when your income goes up. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, making more money doesn't make you wealthier. It just makes your lifestyle more expensive. And once that happens, your higher income becomes a trap. Let me show you what I mean. Meet Alex. At 28, Alex was making $60,000 a year. He wasn't rich, but he was doing okay. He rented a modest apartment, drove an older car, cooked most of his meals, and because his lifestyle was relatively cheap, he could actually save money. Then Alex got a promotion. His salary jumped to $100,000. He felt like he'd finally made it. So he did what almost everyone would do. He upgraded. A nicer apartment, a newer car, more restaurants, more expensive vacations. A few subscriptions here, a few upgrades there. Nothing crazy. That's what Alex kept telling himself. He wasn't buying a yacht. He wasn't living like a celebrity. He was just enjoying the money he'd worked hard to earn. And honestly, who could blame him? The problem wasn't any single purchase. The problem was that his entire lifestyle quietly moved up with his income. Then something strange happened. A few years later, Alex got another promotion. Now he was making $140,000. But somehow, he still felt like he needed more money. Why? Because his expenses had grown with him. The apartment became a bigger apartment. The car became a more expensive car. The vacations became more expensive. And the things that once felt like luxuries slowly became normal. That's lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the quietest ways people become permanently dependent on a high income. Because when you make $60,000 and spend $50,000, you have a problem. But when you make $140,000 and spend $135,000, you can feel rich while still being financially fragile. That's the trap. Your income goes up, your lifestyle follows, and suddenly, you need the bigger paycheck just to maintain the life you've already built. But here's where wealthy thinking becomes different. When their income increases, they don't automatically increase their lifestyle by the same amount. They increase their assets first. And there are 3 things you can do with every raise, bonus, or income increase. The first is simple. Keep your fixed expenses under control. Don't turn a temporary income increase into a permanent monthly bill. Because a raise can disappear very quickly when it becomes a bigger mortgage, a bigger car payment, and a bigger collection of subscriptions. The second, use part of the extra money to increase your earning power. Learn a valuable skill, build a business, get better tools, invest in something that can make you more valuable in the marketplace. Because the goal isn't just to earn more this year, it's to become someone who can earn more for the next 10 years. And the third, turn the extra income into assets. Invest consistently. Build ownership. Buy things that have the potential to grow or produce income over time. Because this is where the real difference begins. Imagine 2 people both receive a $20,000 raise. Person 1 spends almost all of it upgrading their lifestyle. Person 2 keeps their lifestyle mostly the same and sends a large portion of that raise toward assets. For the first year, you might barely notice a difference. 5 years later, you probably will. 10 years later, they may be living completely different financial lives. Not because one person earned more. They started with the same raise. The difference was what they did with it. One person turned income into consumption. The other turned income into ownership. And ownership is what eventually gives you something a paycheck never can. Options. The option to leave a job you hate. The option to take time off. The option to start a business. The option to say no. That's what wealth actually buys. Not just nicer things, more choices. And this is why you should never automatically celebrate a bigger paycheck by creating bigger expenses. Celebrate it by creating a bigger gap between what you earn and what you need to spend. Because that gap is where wealth is built. So the next time your income goes up, don't immediately ask, "What can I afford now?" Ask something better. How much of this can I turn into freedom? You don't have to live like you're broke. Enjoy your money. Upgrade your life. Buy things you genuinely value. Just don't let every increase in income become an increase in lifestyle. Because the goal isn't to earn more money, just so you can spend more money. The goal is to earn more, so you can own more. So eventually, you need less. That's the moment you stop chasing money. And money starts giving you freedom. If this changed the way you think about your next race, subscribe to Arhan Usman. No hype, no fake gurus, just timeless,